Welcome, welcome. Good evening, good evening. Welcome to our Tuesday night live Q&A session. Have an opportunity to have our founder, Peter, here join us in a second. So that way, folks who've heard about us, learned a few things, maybe even spoken to one of our advisors like myself, uh, just want to get some clarifying questions. The bottom line is what we have to offer here at Partner Driven is a great opportunity for the right person. If you're looking to get started in real estate, if you're looking to scale your current operation, we could definitely help you no matter what stage of your real estate business you're currently in. But Tuesday nights, I love particularly because it's a chance, again, to get your questions answered, to get the clarity you need, but also a chance to get to know our founder, Peter, ask questions. Tuesday nights are very informal, almost like a live Q&A, almost like a fireside chat, call it what you want, but really an opportunity to speak one-on-one, essentially, with our founder, Peter. Having said that, please turn on your cameras. A matter of fact, we keep these so small that you can go ahead and introduce yourself, maybe kind of city, state. That way we kind of have a good understanding of where people are coming in from. Is this your first webinar? I see a couple of familiar faces here. I see, is it Trung Nguyen? I remember you last Thursday. How you doing, sir? Glad you're back on here. In the chat, feel free to kind of drop in what city, state you're in, or just unmute yourself. Again, we keep these pretty small, intimate for a very specific reason. So again, you can get your questions answered here directly from our founder, Peter, as I mentioned, and really kind of get a flavor of kind of who we are and how we do things here at Partner Driven. But yeah, let me know in the chat, where are you calling in from, city, state, or feel free to unmute your line. I'd much appreciate that as we wait for a few more folks to hop on here. Hey, Stephanie from Georgia. How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. And for everyone else, thank you for turning on your camera. We'll make we'll make tonight a lot easier as we kind of again get to know each other and hear directly from Peter here himself. As a matter of fact, that's really his only request is for you to please turn on your cameras so that way we can have a great conversation. And tonight is definitely that. We've got folks from Chicago tonight, Utah, Tampa Bay. Love it, love it. Where else? Where else?
Watch me sit in with Johnny Saxophone Jackson tomorrow night.
New York in the house. Love it. Love it. Awesome. Well, again, waiting for a few more folks to hop on. Stephanie, good to see you at the live event last week in Atlanta. While we're waiting, Steph, you mind just kind of giving us a quick 30-second, 1 minute commercial, how that live event was for you and what it entailed?
Hello, everyone. The live event was awesome, awesome. Definitely a motivator for me.
Yeah,
Thank you, Roland.
absolutely. It was a 2 day live event. I had the coaches there and everything else. Glad you were there, Stephanie. Always good to see our partners. About 200 or so folks flew in all across the country to meet our founders, to meet our coaches. Having said that, I do have our principal founder, Peter, here tonight. Pete, I got a couple of folks here interested, wanting to work with you, wanting to partner with us on doing some deals, and just may have some last minute questions and really wanted to speak with you one-on-one to go ahead and do just that. So, Pete, thanks for being here tonight.
Well, good evening, everybody. For those of you that may not know who I am, my name is Peter Vekselman. I appreciate you guys being here. And really, tonight is I don't have anything kind of formal. I don't have any slides. I don't have a presentation. Tonight is kind of a two-way street. I want to share with you a little bit about myself, my vision for what I do in terms of partnering with people, why I do what I do, and I want to share with you a little bit of who I do it with. And then the other side of the equation tonight, I'd love to find out a little bit about you. So I want to leave a little time towards the end. I would love just to have a little conversation with some of you guys who actually want to, end up partnering with me. The one thing that I think we all have in common here, everybody here, I believe you guys have decided you want to be in real estate. Now, let me be the first one to tell you, I am by no means the only pathway in real estate. I'm not the only way that you can become successful in real estate. But I am a legitimate option. I'm a legitimate option because I've been at this thing for a long time. 100% of all the deals I do are with partners, individuals, just like you guys, across the country. I've done upwards of a little over 4,000 deals as I've been involved in this industry. I do deals now with individuals like you guys all over the country, all 50 states, deals going on in every single major city, deals going on in just about every single second and third tier city. Like I live in Atlanta. Atlanta is kind of a third tier city. And I have deals going on in places you guys have never heard of. You know, towns as small as 300 to 400, population size, and all that. And I'll be honest with you, the reason I'm sharing these statistics with you because these are statistics I'm very proud about. When I started partnering with people many years ago now, before I ever did one single deal with a partner like you guys, and I kind of went to the world and started telling them what I want to do across the board. Across the board, this industry rejected my model. They simply told me, Pete, it's impossible. It is simply impossible for you to do deals with people you don't know, that you've never met, may never meet, in cities you may have never go to, on properties you will never see, and to a certain degree not to a certain degree, but to reality, give those people all the kind of money they need to do as many of those deals as they want. You know, the industry, when I started doing this, spoke very, very loudly for the first couple of years of me doing this. And across the board, they all said this cannot be done because nobody was doing it back then. Now, I'll tell you something very interesting. No one's still doing it. So, although I'm not the only pathway in this space, there's other people who become wildly successful in real estate who never forget not partnering with me. They don't even know who I am. Uh, but I will tell you, I am the only person in the United States that does this. So the good thing about what I do is I have the ability to pick the best of the best when it comes to partners because I have no competition in this space. You cannot just say, well, I want to do this with Peter, or I want to do this with Bobby, or I want to do this with Steven. There's literally no, I'm the only person in this field. And that does give me a luxury of being able to ultimately select the cream of the crop when it comes to partnering and partners. And this is why I think we have the success we do. Um, because we work with people that are quality people, that are serious about what they want. They take this business very seriously. I tend to reject the wrong type of an individual. You know, I've been doing this long enough. I'm pretty good at selecting the people that would be successful with me. I surround myself with individuals like Roland, who was kind enough to introduce me, and his team. I call them my gatekeepers. They kind of screen out for the right type of an individual. I'm going to get into that today. I want to paint a very honest picture, really a stereotype of the individual that does become uberly successful with me. So the two-way street is very simple. I want to share with you what it is I do to see if I'm the individual that you want to partner with and embark upon this journey. And at the same time, I want to give you enough facts that when we're done here, you'll know right away. Not only am I a good fit for you, but you'll know right away, are you a good fit for me? And if there is a meeting of the minds when we're done here, I'm not going to drag this out too long tonight. But when we're done here, if you're like, you know what, I could see myself doing this with this dude. And at the same time, everything he told me that he's looking for, I possess, then we're just going to have a private conversation after this. That's it. Schedule a time, next couple of days to chat, either with myself or a team member, and off we go. But I will tell you, interestingly enough, when I started, the reason this industry flat out rejected the possibility of me becoming successful in this is because the whole industry looked at me as somebody that would just throw money around. They said, well, you can't just give somebody money to do a real estate deal. You don't know enough about this person. You haven't qualified this person. How can you assume the risk of the deal? You know, how can you do a deal in a city you've never been to? You don't have all the data and all this. What the industry did not know when I started doing this, when they fully rejected this model. By the way, no one rejects this model anymore. If you look at the gurus, they all have the same buzzwords now. I partner with you and I do deals with you. It's all crap. They don't really partner with you. They don't do what I do. But so no one rejects what I do anymore. But the reason they rejected it back then was not really out of spite. What they did not understand is the vision I had behind this whole thing. See, when I started partnering with people many years ago, if the only thing back then that I would do for people was put up money in the deal, they're probably right. We would not be talking here today 10 years down the road. Because in real estate, it's a lot more than just putting money into a deal. Real estate is a much more sophisticated game. It's a much more robust game. It's a much more high level game. So what the industry did not realize is that I had a whole vision for building out my partnership. And here we are 10 years later. So let me tell you what it looks like, but I also want to share with you how I'm also transitioning now from where this partnership was built to what I'm in the process of doing now. And I'll tell you, when I'm about to share with you in a couple minutes of what I'm about to do now, some of you guys are in this call, on this meeting, are going to say, Pete, that's impossible. Just like the gurus back then, 10 years ago, said it's impossible. Most people that hear what I'm doing now literally say, this cannot be done. And we're in the middle of proving everybody wrong again. But first, let me take a couple minutes and share with you how I got here. When I started partnering with people 10 some years ago, in the beginning, and this was just a very, very short period of time, that was the only thing I did was I provided capital for my partners. And the reason I did that is because I personally wanted to do more deals. I was already investing and doing deals in about 17 markets across the United States. I was kind of beating my head against the wall trying to figure out, outside those 17 markets, how do I go to the whole United States to have a bigger playing field? So I came up with this idea. I said, listen, I'm just going to go to my social media and I'm just going to start telling people, hey, if you got a deal, I don't care if you're in Wisconsin, Ohio, Chicago, California, Georgia, I don't care where you are. If you got a deal and it's a legitimate deal, I'll put up all the money. 100% of the money, I'll put up the money to earnest money, to buy it, to fix it, to carry it, to pay for all the incidentals. And that's really where this whole thing was conceived. And that's how I did it for the first short period of time. And this is where the industry was. That was the only time that this industry was actually correct about me. That was not enough. In order for me to really get it to the level that it is now, where all 50 states doing deals, all the major cities doing deals, almost every single second and third tier cities were doing deals. And like I said before, in cities you never heard of, to get it to this point, what I realized back then I needed to do, and what I spent the last 10 years doing it, is I started adding more and more and more and more and more pieces on. And so the best way that I could summarize what I do now is very simple. My partners do 5% of the deal. And what they do is they take our technology, our infrastructure, our training, our knowledge, our systems, our support, our coaching, and they utilize all that to help us find deals either where they live or wherever it is they want to do real estate deals. That's about 5% of the deal. My team does the rest. We'll provide you support. We provide due diligence inspections of these deals. We provide negotiation package that usually could drop the price of whatever deal you're looking at about 20, 30, 50%. My team has a national closing operation, so we close deals all over the United States, literally every single place across the United States. Obviously, I put up all the money. We have construction teams across the United States, so it does not matter where your deals are. We could deploy construction into any city, any town across the United States. We have takeout strategies all over the United States. We have real estate agents across the United States. So we basically execute the deal for the partner, and then we sell the deal and we split the profits down the middle, 50-50. So the best way to look at it, where we've taken this model, is that now my team and I do about 90 to 95% of the deal. You do 5, you help us at least identify a deal, but for that 5%, you will actually get 50% of the profit on the back end. Um, by the way, to me, that's still a fair thing. Even though people all the time challenge me, like, well, why are you giving 50% of the profit if somebody's only putting 5% of the effort in? That 5% is absolutely critical to the deal. Without my local partner on those boots on the ground, without my local partner helping me and my team find deals, nothing works. So for me, I played the masses game. I know that if I help enough people like yourself do enough deals, I'm willing to trade 5% of the effort for 50% of the profit. Multiply that times 4,000 deals, average deal cranking out 20 to 40 to $60,000. You could see how in the end it's a very profitable model really for everybody involved. That's where we are now. But what I'm doing now to absolutely transition this model for my partners into areas that are impossible to achieve without being my partner, this is where this gets really interesting. Because now I want to share with you what I've been doing in the last year or so, what I'm doing right now, and what I will continue to do probably for the next 6 to 7 months to finish all of this off. What I'm about to tell you, a lot of you who understand about real estate, like I know there's some of you guys on this call today that understand real estate at a pretty high level. I'm going to tell you right now, you are not going to agree that it's possible. Because when I started sharing, now I'm in the middle of deploying all this. So everybody's looking at this and like, wow, I can't believe it's gotten to this level. But what I'm doing now is absolutely revolutionary. As a matter of fact, what I'm doing with my partners now, I predict will change how real estate investing will be done. Like right now, it's revolutionary, it's new, it's different. Most people, when they hear it for the first time, they're like, wow, can't believe it's happening. I don't think you could finish this off. But my prediction is what I'm about to share with you in the next 5 to 6 to 7 years, this will be the only way to do real estate. As a matter of fact, if you don't do it, what I'm about to share with you, what we're doing with my partners right now, you won't even be in the real estate business. This will be the way things are done. So check this out. There's 2 revolutionary things that I'm in the process, that I'm in the process of doing right now that are absolutely flipping the whole industry upside down. But also what I'm doing right now, this is why I don't want to sound like a broken record, but this is a very important statistic that I'm going to share again for the third time today and probably continue sharing with you. More individuals like you guys doing more deals with me than ever before. All 50 states, all major cities, almost every single second and third tier city, and in areas and towns and counties and literally small villages that you've never even been to or ever heard of. It's because of these 2 things I'm putting in play. Number one, even when you get to the point when you're partnering with someone like myself, right? When you're my partner and you look at what I just described to you and you're like, okay, Peter and his team are doing 90, 95% of the deal. I'm doing 5% of the deal. There's still a limitation on you. And the limitation is really not a limitation of the model, it is a limitation of this industry. And here's what the limitation is. The question you need to be asking yourself is, well, what kind of deals is he doing? I'm glad, hey, any day I'll get in the business with somebody that I could partner, right? And I do 5% of the effort and get 50% of the profit. But the real question you got to ask yourself is, what kind of deals are these guys doing? Because based upon the kind of deals we're doing, also then gives you the chances or the probability of being successful with me. If I'm doing the kind of deals that are like impossible to do or impossible to find or impossible to get under contract, it don't matter if I'm doing 99% of the work and you're doing 1% of the work. If deals never happen, no one that makes any money. That's a legitimate concern. So let me tell you how I'm flipping that concern to a non-issue but actually something that plays into your favor. Check this out. What I described to you now is what is known in real estate. And if you're in the real estate, you know exactly what I'm talking about. That is known as a buy box. So, for instance, when people get in the real estate space, they develop their own buy boxes. And that buy box is determined by what they do, right? Like I fix and flip. I got my own buy box. I do rentals. I got my buy box. I do creative strategies. I got my buy box. I do wholesale deals. I got my buy box. I do lease options. I got my buy box. I do subject to or wraps. I got my buy box. And so in real estate, there's about 18 to 20 different buy boxes, and what they are strategies. And when investors get in this space, almost every investor basically knows, okay, let me pick out what my strategy is going to be. And based upon that strategy, that is what your buy box is. Watch how I'm flipping this whole thing upside down. I realized having a buy box is a limitation in this space. Matter of fact, is one of the top questions people would ask me that wanted to partner with me. Right? They would say, well, what's your buy box? What's your buy box? What they're really saying is, I'm kind of lazy. And so, because I'm kind of lazy, I need to know is how realistic is this whole thing? I'm being a little facetious, but that's really what the reality of it is. How big is your buy box? It's a realistic limitation. And so some time ago, I started realizing that I've gotten to the point that we're doing about 95% of the deal for our partners. How do I make this even more lucrative for my partners? How do I make it that not only are we doing deals in all 50 states, all the major cities, almost every single second and third tier cities, how do I get this to the point that we're doing the kind of deals that like hedge funds do? $5-10 billion hedge funds that ultimately do, 30,000 deals, 100,000 transactions. And here's how I'm doing it. See how they're doing it. They're doing it in a very stupid way. They got two things. They got a bunch of money and they buy in masses. They're not even looking for deals. They just got to spend that money. We can't do that. We got to make money on our deals, right? We can't just be stupid buyers. We can't do stupid deals. So here's how, follow me on what to tell you, because what I'm about to tell you is absolutely revolutionary, something that none of you have ever seen done before. But this is what allows my partners to have the wild success that they're having right now. So what I started doing a while back is I said, how do I get to the point where I have literally the biggest legitimate buy box, but not a hedge fund buy box? They buy just to spend money and nobody really makes money in the end. How do I have a buy box that becomes the biggest buy box where we can all still make money? And how I've been able to do that and how I'm in the middle of doing that right now is I started adding on strategies, exit strategies. I first initially, when I started this, I was the fix and flip guy. And so all of my partners, we were basically doing the same kind of deals. We were looking for fix and flips. Now, if you know anything about the fix and flips, you know two things. One, fix and flip, those are the investors making the most money, and those are the hardest deals to find. So the buy box for the fix and flip is very small. It's the smallest buy box of any strategy out there, actually. You need big spread, big equity, big margins. Well, then I said, listen, I got to make this easier for my partners. And then I added one more strategy on. And then I added one more strategy on. And then I added another strategy on. And then I added another strategy on. And now watch this. Check this out. I started at 1. I'm at about 9 or 10 right now. What does that mean? What that basically means is now when you're sitting in front of a seller, I don't care if that seller is East Coast, West Coast, gorgeous property, ugly property, a ton of equity, no equity, motivated, unmotivated, 5 bedrooms, 2 bedrooms, amazing school system, school where everybody gets killed. It doesn't matter. None of that matters. Right now, when you're sitting in about 50% of the sellers, when you understand all the buy boxes I have, all the strategies I do, about 50 to 60% of the time, you will be able to put a deal together. Now, for those of you that understand real estate, what I just said is earth shattering. There's no one in the United States that could legitimately say that I could sit in front of 10 random sellers and with about 5 or 6 of them, I could do some kind of a deal. That's what I just told you. That's unheard of in this space. Usually, a typical investor could sit in front of 100 potential sellers and maybe do one. What I'm telling you is we could do that. You could sit in front of 100 and potentially create an opportunity out of 50 or 60 of those. So what do? I do the fix and flips. I do the wholesale, hotel, pre-marketing, pre-listing, subject to owner finance, lease options, all of those. We don't need to get to all of them right now. But what I'm trying to do is for you to understand what it means to be one of my partners. Now, here's the real exciting news about what I just told you. What the real exciting, and by the way, I do all the creative. So take all those 10 ways and now add on fix and flip, wholesale, hotel, pre-listing, pre-marketing, as is flips and all that. Now you start, and I'm not talking about one family having a bunch of subsets. Anybody could do that. I'm talking about 10 distinct families of doing things. Now here's the ultimate earth-shattering thing of what I do. I'm putting another 10 strategies in there. So for instance, just yesterday for my partners, okay? Just yesterday's for my partners, I released another strategy. That's the Realtor strategy. So now people that I partner with have actually the ability to make money from off a real estate agent. Again, I don't want to get into the complexities of all of this stuff today and show you how that works. That'll come in due time. So now, because sometimes we as investors, we sit in front of sellers where we just know this is not an investor kind of deal. What this seller needs is a real estate agent. So now what I released yesterday is the ability for my partners when they encounter those situations. They happen a lot, by the way. They could now sit in front of a seller and you realize this seller doesn't need me as an investor. This just needs this person needs a real estate agent. Now my partners have the ability to even profit off of that. So what I'm doing between now and the end of 26, what I'm doing now and the end of 26 is I am putting 10 more strategies in play. And so my vision is by the time we get to the end of 26, by the time we get to the end of 26, you'll be able to, as a partner, or some of you who do become my partners, you'll be able to sit in front of about 90 to 95, closer to 95+% of the sellers. And literally, it will not matter whatsoever what the situation is, what the property looks like, where it's located, zero equity, upside down equity, a ton of equity, motivated, zero motivation. 90 to 95% of the time you're sitting in front of a seller, you'll be able to do a deal with them. So what that means is you'll be able to help almost any legitimate seller if they legitimately want to sell, and you'll be able to profit from there. That's a revolutionary thing. If you understand real estate and you understand what I just told you, you understand that this is not the way in real estate is done, but this is what gives me the ability to create the kind of masses of numbers that I have created. Number two, the second thing I'm doing, because what I've realized is every time you create a solution, you also create a problem with that solution. And then the next solution has to be to fix that problem. That's how you never stop growing. The people that stop growing are the ones that get to a certain point where they create a solution and they think that solution solves everything. That's just very small-minded thinking. Every solution I create, I then think, what's the problem I created? Well, let me tell you the problem that's created by what I just told you. That's all well and good. It's great that now you got 20 strategies that you could utilize. But the problem with that is, how do the sellers know that you even exist, right? How do they know you could help them? To them, you're just a name, right? That's great. You're partnering with Peter, but who's Peter? How do they know you're partnering? How do they know you got 20 exit strategies? How do they know you're the answer? They don't, is the reality right now for most people. And in this space, how they tend to know is he who screams the loudest, he who's got the biggest megaphone tends to get the business, right? It's whoever dumps the most money into marketing. It's the one who reaches out the most. And right now, you're still limited by those buy boxes. But as I've solved the solution of the buy boxes and in being able to help anybody, the problem now is how do they know? So watch how I'm flipping this whole thing upside down to make sure they all know. Right now, to do a real estate deal, if you ever done a real estate deal or if you've ever tried to do a real estate deal, about a 95% chance that you have to go find that deal. I mean, we know that as investors. Every deal you do, you have a story behind not only how you did that deal, but how you found that deal. Like you may have reached out to somebody, you might have called somebody, you might have knocked on someone's door, you might have sent a direct mail piece out, you might have spent some money in marketing, you might have gotten a referral, whatever. There's some kind of a reach out to somebody. That reach out in many cases is not an easy piece. As a matter of fact, I will tell you that is usually what prevents most investors from being successful. They don't even know how to reach out. They don't have the tenacity. They can't handle the word no when it's most of the time no, and it blows most people out. Bottom line is marketing, not only in any business, but specifically as ours, is not a very easy place. So watch how I'm flipping this whole thing upside down. What I'm in the process of doing with all of my partners right now. See, I've always told people that in real estate, now what I'm going to tell you is going to be shocking to a lot of you. And right away, your initial reaction is going to be like, that's impossible. It's not. I'm going to prove to you how. I have said about real estate that it is possible to be an uber successful investor without reaching out to anybody, without chasing for any deal, calling any seller, knocking in any door, sending any direct mail piece, whatever it is that you're doing to reach out. I've said that for a long, long time. In this business, you don't need to do that. Again, it has been challenged when I say this, especially in mass surroundings and especially around other gurus. They're all like, no, that's impossible. How do you do that? It's possible. And I am now doing that with my partners as we speak. And for the rest of 2026, I'm going to perfect it. But what I'm doing now is I'm putting systems in place, basically marketing tributaries. I'm putting marketing tributaries in place. And what these marketing tributaries do once they get activated for my partners, instead of my partners having to reach out and let the world know, yes, I'm here. I got my 20 exit strategies, and I don't care what your situation is. I'm the person that could help you. Instead of having to reach out, these 20 these tributaries, these marketing tributaries, start having the deals come to you. So, can you imagine? Can you imagine putting yourself in a position that one, you're armed with about 20 exit strategies, which means it doesn't matter who you're sitting across. You could do all the creative stuff. You could do all the cash stuff. You could do all the fix and flip stuff. You could do the MLS stuff. You could do the short sale stuff. You could do the wholesale stuff. You could do the pre-marketing stuff. You could do the as-is stuff. You could do all of that. And on top of that, let's say wherever you live, I don't care where you live, every single seller then understands that. They don't have to understand the strategies. They never will because they're not experts in this. They don't need to. But all of a sudden, now you got everyone that wants to sell starts coming to you. You got a partner that's executing 95% of the deal. You got 18, 19, 20 strategies in place, which means anyone you talk to, you could make money with and help them. And you got everyone out there in the marketplace knowing who it is you are and what it is you do, and they're consistently coming to you. That ladies and gentlemen, is what I'm in the process of implementing right now. I'm 10 strategies in, so I'm halfway in the strategies. It's already absolutely unbelievable and amazing for the partners. I also have about 5 of these tributaries set up to have lead flow coming in, and my team continues to do about 90 to 95% of the deal. And that, in essence, is what it means to be my partner, and that is a little bit of a division of where it is in the next number of months. Now, finally, I want to finish tonight by just telling you who it is I'm looking for. Because I promised you in the beginning that there is a stereotype, um, there is a stereotype of an individual that I'm looking for. And I like to share that with you because I don't know any of you enough to say you fit that mold. But 100% of you know you enough to know that what I'm about to tell you, whether or not you fit that mold. And it's always better, I tell people, that you take yourself out of the equation instead of spending time with my team and then we have to take you out of the equation. But there is an absolute stereotype of it. So I'm going to go through that stereotype and you just figured out if that's you or not. And then I'm going to do also what I promised. I'm just going to open up the floor for Q&A and I'll stay on here because I'm sure there's still some possible lingering questions. I'm sure I may have overcomplicated something tonight. I sometimes do that. And so as soon as I'm done sharing with you who I'm looking for, I'm going to give you a chance to actually schedule a call with myself and my team so we can have some private offline conversations. And then I'm just going to open up the floor. And if any of you guys have any questions, we'll talk it out. And I'd also love to hear from those of you that want to partner with me. I just want to find out a little bit about you. You know, what drives you? Because that's important. You got to have a goal and you got to have a dream. Um, Here's what I'm looking for. Number one characteristic. Number one characteristic is you have to be coachable. You have to be coachable. If you're not coachable, I rather you not start with me. Like if and by the way, I'm not even saying you're not smarter than me. I'm not saying you're more savvy of an investor than me. I'm not saying that you got it going on better than me. You may. But if you're going to become my partner, you have to be coachable. I've done 4,000 of these. I mean, I literally have a plug and play system in place. And let me tell you how that works when you start with me. The coachability is critical up front because up front, we're going to do the kind of deals I want to do. You don't get to choose the kind of deals we do. So let me share with you the deals that I'm only open to doing when someone starts with me. Single family homes, duplexes, triplexes, quads, houses, condos, townhomes, mobile homes, modular homes, and stuff like that. The reason that is the only option, we're not going to build skyscrapers, we're not going to do subdivisions, we're not going to subdivide land, we're not going to build from the ground up. The reason you have to be coachable on those things, because I'm the best in the country of those. You're not going to find someone in the country better at those strategies, those types of transactions. Once we do a couple of those, and you get comfortable with myself and my team, and we get comfortable with you, and we've made a bunch of money, and we're really excited about everything, I'm open to anything. I'm open to any kind of discussion. As a matter of fact, I'll take it a step beyond that. I'm even open to discussing things that are not real estate related. Yes, I do things that are not real estate related with some of my partners. But we're first going to do what I'm the best at because the key is to get us comfortable with each other, do some deals, gain confidence, and above everything else, make money together. So coachability becomes critical. Second thing, you have to have some time to put in this thing. And I do understand for a lot of people, they have no time. I mean, they're very busy staying unhappy, staying broke, staying below where they want to be. That's a full-time gig for a lot of people. If you find yourself in a position that you can't give myself and my team 3 to 5 hours a week, please do not start. We want you to give me 3 to 5 hours a week because I'm looking for people with whom I could do deals. I'm not looking for someone to become a partner and then sit on their couch and drink alcohol the whole day and hope this is going to happen by osmosis. Never has. as far as I know, and it never will. So you have to be willing to give us immediately 3 to 5 hours a week because we could start showing you results with that. Number three, I'm looking for partners that want to do multiple deals. If you're sitting here and you're like, I'd love to do one deal in the next 2 years. I appreciate you being here, but you're not my type of partner. I'm looking for partners that want to do 2, 3, 4 deals at a time. With how I've structured things, if you understand what I explained to you, 2, 3, 4 deals at a time with me is not rocket science. But to make my financial, because I'm going to spend a ton of money into you. I got a payroll of 100,000 a week supporting you. I got infrastructure. A typical deal is going to cost me $250,000 that I got to risk putting into you. And so it doesn't, I will lose money on you if your only vision is to do one deal in the next year and a half. I'd rather you not start until you, if and when you get to a point where you're like, let's go, let's get serious, let's make some real money. And so that's what I'm looking for. The next couple things are mentality things. But these mentality things are probably the most important things. For instance, if you have the mentality, like if you look at your life and you say, you know what? I'm always a victim. I'm always a victim of everything. Everybody's taking advantage of me. Poor me, poor my. It's just me against the world. If that's you, you're not going to be successful with me. If your whole life is just full of it's his fault, it's her fault, it's their fault, it's the whole world's fault, and you continue to find yourself in that position that it's always somebody else's fault, we're about ready to get in business together. We're not sitting, sucking lollipops and playing bombs here. This is a business. This is a very serious business. So if you have a victim mentality, I'd rather you start with me because as you could tell, I'm kind of black and white. You either love me or you hate me, and you're not going to love me if your whole thing is, oh, the seller said no, so now it's, Pete, this doesn't work. Okay. We're not going to have those conversations. So, the mentality I'm looking for, and I'm pretty good at articulating this, but the mentality that I'm looking for is people that say, Pete, listen, I'm very distinct on my dreams and goals. Like I could define my dreams and goals. They involve my kids, my wife, my husband, my career, my retirement, my lifestyle, I could define them and I see them. And Pete, I've been chasing these dreams and goals my whole life. But what I also realized, Pete, between me and those dreams and goals is a wall. And I've been climbing that wall and I can't get over it. And Pete, I've been trying to get around this freaking wall and I can't get around it. But if you're telling me, Pete, you're willing to do what you just said you're willing to do for me, that Pete, I will go through that wall to get to those dreams and goals. That's the mentality I'm looking for. If your dreams and goals are so important to you that you would walk through a wall to get there, that's what I'm looking for. So that's basically the stereotype. You got to be coachable. You got to have time. You got to want to do multiple deals. You can't be a whiner, a pom-pom, an excuse maker, a complainer. You got to be willing to go through a wall to get to your dreams and goals. Then you're going to be that is a stereotype of, as you look at my partners, I mean, you could line them up. They got nothing in common, but they got those characteristics in common. So that's really all I had for you guys tonight. I do want to save a little time, and I think I've done that successfully, to answer your questions. I will tell you at this point, usually by the time people listen to me, they're like either I'm all out, this is the worst thing I've ever heard, or I'm all in. And so if you find yourself like, Pete, you're not my dude, I appreciate it, but you're not my dude, and this ain't my thing, I appreciate you being here. It's probably no reason for you to stay on this meeting now because it's not gonna get any better, okay? But at the same time, if you're still here right now and you're like, "Yep, that's me," and this is an opportunity that I want to seriously pursue, then the next step, at least from tonight, the next step is Roland, my friend, is going to drop a link inside chat right now, and it's just a way for us to connect. Schedule a call link, And and it's a way for you to talk to my team, get a bigger picture of what it is we're doing, a chance to potentially talk to me directly to make sure we're a good fit, and then we'll figure it out if we're going to do this or not. By the way, some of you guys are already talking to my team. If you're at the point where you're talking to my team and you saw me tonight and you're like, hell yeah, this is me and this is my dude, fill out that link, and that link will automatically, your information will automatically be sent directly to the person you're talking to. Okay. So don't let the fact that you're already talking to somebody prevent you from filling that out. Or if you're not talking to anybody and you're ready, like, yeah, this looks like my kind of stuff, click that link. All right. Let's do some Q&A. You could either raise your Zoom hand if you have a question for me. There's chat inside Zoom. You could put your question inside chat. I know Roland's going to be monitoring chat. Or if you want to just take yourself off mute and just kind of speak out loud. If you got a question, a comment, or if you want to share with me why you want to do this, I'd love to hear and, give you a little feedback on that or just to get to know you a little bit more. So bottom line is no rules. Whatever you want to say, this is the time to say it. All right. Either take yourself off mute, raise your hand, or type in your question inside chat. Roland, what do we have? We have some questions inside chat or anything?
Yeah, we do, Pete. Joe is asking, so are the tributaries, are they marketing?
Yes. Tributaries is marketing tributaries to get sellers coming into you instead of you going to chase after sellers. Yes, sir. Like, right, let me give you an example. Was that Joe, Roland?
Correct, Joe. Uh-huh.
So, Joe, you on here? If you're on here, take yourself
Yeah.
off mute.
Yeah, here I am.
What's up, Joe? So, for instance, let me give you an example. For the last week and a half, the tributary that I've helped set up to get deals coming in from my partners is property locators. Firm believer in locators. I built the first 500 deals I did, 400 of them were locators. I'm very good at doing that. So we set that up. Before then, we set up the
Are you
probate one, probate
using AI
opportunities.
now?
I'm sorry, what'd you say,
Are
Joe?
you using AI now? To
AI, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Anything to do to probates,
Mhm.
AI, pre-foreclosures, pocket listings with realtors, and property locators. So we got about
Yeah.
five of these tributaries, and as they get
Okay.
turned on, boom, boom, deals, 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 deals coming in. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Is there a cost for that? I mean, are
One of those tributaries has a cost. The rest are all for free. And the one
okay.
that is a cost is just having your leads generated on the internet, motivated seller leads. I
Yeah.
like that. And I encourage that. If you got some money to put into marketing, that's a great place to put it because you could qualify them really well. But all the rest of the tributaries do not have a cost.
Cool.
Cool.
That
Are you
sounds
talking to
good.
somebody on the team, Joe?
Yeah.
Who you
Yeah.
remember who you're talking to?
Yeah, Sandra.
Okay, perfect. Uh, that was a very insightful question. Thank you for bringing that up. It's a good way to kind of get tonight rolling with the questions. Hit that link inside chat. I want to talk to you. Okay,
Okay.
'cause
Yeah.
especially the AI stuff. We got some really cool stuff. I want to fill you in.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Look
Thanks
forward
for
to
being
it.
here, Joe.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, who's got the next question? Either take yourself off mute. I know Roland's monitoring chat. What do we got, Roland?
In the chat, still kind of reviewing a couple different things. If you want to manually raise your hand, I'm looking for that as well. A good opportunity to ask your questions live now. Let's see here. Pete, I know one question that we typically get that people direct message me on is how does it work if people are realtors, contractors? How does
Yeah,
all that kind of
good
tie in?
question. So a lot of times, um, people start with me have other skills, talents, licenses. You could be a realtor, like Roland said. You could be you could be a contractor. Like for instance, I have partners that are contractors. They don't need us to help them fix the houses. They fix the houses. So if you're a contractor, you make the 50% of the profit plus your contractor fee. If you're a realtor, you make 50% of the profit, plus you'll have the ability to sell the deals and still make your 6% commission. So if you have any other skill set inside the space, absolutely 100%, we're going to allow you to utilize that and profit off of that. Paul, do you have a question? I saw Paul pull himself off mute. All right, anybody else has a question for me?
I see William there unmuting.
Where you at, William? I don't even see William.
Hey, well, if you wanted to type in the chat, I'll be sure to catch you on there. I think he's out there smoking
If
a
you got a
cigar.
question, just take yourself off mute. If not, that's great too.
Hmm.
I got 5 kids to run downstairs to, so
And then Welton is asking in the chat, Pete, what qualifies as a deal? He's assuming anywhere between 70 to 80% a deal.
no, he's assuming wrong. We just spent 45 minutes talking about my 10 exit strategies, going to 20 exit strategies. We could do creative deals that have no equity whatsoever. So that's the beautiful thing about myself and my partners. I could do deals with big equity, 70, 80%, obviously even better than that. I can go all the way to 80, 85, 90, 95, even 0% on creative stuff. That's why I got more people doing more deals than anyone else in the country.
And speaking of creative, Pete, Diane is asking, and Diana, if you can clarify your question, have you ever taken a rental off the market and flipped it?
Sure. Yeah, it doesn't matter how you buy it, Diana, whether it's a rental, empty house, um, occupied house. It's just understanding how to structure it depending which strategy that particular
So
deal could fall into. So yes, the answer to that question is yes.
And then William was letting us know that he's got 5 kids too, Pete.
William, I used to make fun of people like you and I, and now I am people like you and I. I used to make fun of people with 5 kids, and now I'm like a big promoter of it. So I could relate, William. But William, what I got you beat in is William on? Take yourself off mute if you're on. William, if you're on, where is he? Is he around? Maybe
Yeah,
not.
he's on
I
his
I
phone trying.
am.
There he is.
Hey. Now, William, here's what I got you beat in. The ages of my kids. My oldest is 27. My youngest just turned 3. I know I got you beat on that.
You definitely got me beat on that. My youngest is 17, oldest is 31. So
That's okay. Hey, listen, but congratulations. Is that a cigar?
yeah, I'm at my cigar club. So
Oh, I love where you live. I'm a cig. I don't drink. I don't do anything illegal. I don't have any bad habits. But cigars, like once a month, I get. Where you live?
I'm in Jersey.
Okay, yeah, cigars in Jersey. You know what? Interesting story, William. I live in Atlanta. You know Atlanta has more cigar bars than anywhere in the United States.
I love Atlanta. I've been to a lot of the places, the Red Phone Booth,
Yeah,
Prime.
yeah. I've been to Red Phone
Um,
Booth. I actually did New Year's there. We did a couple of years ago.
Great spot.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yeah, you got a great program. I've been looking at it for a while, so I will be
Thank you.
investing.
I love it. Love it. Who are you talking to, William?
Sandra or
Okay,
Sandy?
awesome. Awesome. Yeah. Now, William, listen, this is your chance because, do a deal. Give me a chance to go up there. We'll have some cigars and strategize. One of my favorite things to do with my guys, my partners, when they come in, we'll take them to our place on the water, take the boat out, grab a couple cigars, sit in the back of my boat, overlooking the water. Imagine
Love it.
that the moon's coming down, glistening in the water, and you're sitting on my boat on the back of it and just smoking a couple cigars. I'll remember this. Let's go do it, okay?
Thank you, Peter.
Yes,
Appreciate it.
sir. Yes, sir. Look forward to working with you.
Same here.
All right. What do we got next? Who's next?
Steven's asking in the chat, Pete, can I wholesale my own house?
Yeah, absolutely. I have partners that flip deals to us or with us, or some of our partners buy our deals. Yeah, both ways.
Awesome. Thanks, Pete. And then Roger is asking, how does probates work with fix and flips?
Well, probate is just a source. It does, it could be a fix and flip, could be a creative deal, could be a rental. It's just a source. Probate is just a source. It doesn't create a deal, it doesn't make a deal, it's just a source. Somebody dies, goes through probate. But what makes it a legitimate source is a lot of people that have to take their properties through probates have no intention of keeping them. So it's a legit source and it's one of the tributaries. Who is that rolling, Roger? Who asked
What's
that
that,
question?
Pete? Yeah,
Who asked that question?
Roger.
Roger. So, Roger, the reason that's one of the tributaries is because it's a legitimate source to get deals from. You know what I mean? But what they turn into, we don't know. Could be a fix and flip, could be a wholesale, hotel, pre-marketing, pre-listing, as is, flip, creative, whatever. Hopefully that helps.
And then Pete, I have one fella here that I know who lives in Chicago. You have a deal going on in Chicago now, don't you? I remember you saying that
Yeah, we
last
got
week.
one now. I've done Tom. I'm extremely powerful in Chicago. I mean, we got infrastructure there. Got back end agents to sell our stuff. Yeah, I love Chicago. Actually, was just in Chicago a little bit ago with my wife. Yeah, love Chicago. Absolutely. Done tons of deals in Chicago. Very familiar with the market.
Anyone else? Go ahead, feel free to go. I won't keep Pete here too much longer. So last minute questions here. Hey, Paul, is that you raising your hand or you're scratching your head?
Yeah,
There you are.
I was looking at I found I was going through the internet, and in my area I found 10 houses that they were called fixer uppers, right? But do I have to get a hold of the people who are trying to sell those houses, or do I
Yeah,
have
that's how you
to?
find a deal. We show you how to do that. We have systems, infrastructure, technology, Paul, for all that.
Oh, okay,
By the
okay.
way, Paul, listen, that's the only thing you got to do with me. We could handle the rest of the deal.
Okay, and then like I told you last time, I've been I was starting a remodeling business, so I can do remodels. And then I heard about you, and then I started getting into all this, and then you say we can profit off the labor plus the 50%.
That's correct.
And I started looking around. I found 10 just off the muscle, just like
Well,
2 days ago.
Paul, listen, buddy, come on. Finding them ain't gonna make you no money, right?
Yeah, I
Potential
know.
means absolutely not. I don't know one single person that got rich off potential. This
Yeah.
this country is full of cemeteries with people that had potential. It's
Yes.
worthless.
Yeah, I agree.
So, let's quit hanging around. Let's go do something. But you're right. You're in a great
We got
spot
to
with me.
we go out there and talk to these people, huh?
We show you how to do it. We show you how to do it.
Okay.
This is what Joe was talking about, the different
Okay.
tributaries we set up.
All right. All
And
right.
it takes a
That sounds good.
team.
Thank
What'd
you.
you say? Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks, Paul. What'd you say, Joe?
I said it takes a team. Um,
There's no question. By the way, this is why. So you guys know in real estate, less than 1% of people ever make any money. The reason for that is a part of that is exactly what Joe said. This is not one man's or a woman's sport. This is not. It's such a complicated business that to try to figure out how to do this yourself, you got think about 99% failure rate. Like never get any, forget failure. They don't even get any traction. Like why the hell would you want to take a pathway that's got 99%, you know, failure rate? You wouldn't go to a grocery store like that. You wouldn't go to a hospital like that. You wouldn't drop your car off at a mechanic's that got that kind of disastrous rate.
it takes
Why
the
stick
person you
around
were
in this
looking for.
business?
Yeah, it takes the
You know,
person that you were describing.
absolutely.
I have a question.
Yes, sir.
I live in Newport Beach,
Uh-huh.
and I'm very familiar with the Southern California area. And as you know, it's there the profits are large out here. But you mentioned earlier about a starting type of flip or starting type of deal that you wanted to start with partners. The
Yes,
type.
yeah. Well,
Could
it's
you
more.
just kind
It's
of
not even.
go over
It's
those?
more of the not the type of a deal. It's the type of a property. We're going to
Okay.
start with either single family homes, duplexes, triplexes, quads, houses, townhomes, condos, modular homes, mobile homes. That's what we're going to start with.
Okay. Sounds
Because
good.
Joe, I can help you make money on that lightning fast, faster than anything else. And after
Right.
that, we could discuss anything. But we're
Yeah.
always going to enter the same way.
Sure. Okay. I just wanted to
No, it's a
get
very
those in my
good
head.
question.
Yeah.
Good
Yeah,
question.
because
Very,
I
very
just
intuitive.
looked at a $7 million flip sitting on the ocean right now, and you could sell it for 10. It would easily be $1 million profit, but I'm not there. I don't have that kind of capital. But it's around here.
Yeah, I
Every
don't
kind
know.
of deal is around here. So cool. All right.
Looking forward to.
Awesome.
By the way, I've done about 260 plus flips in California in the last couple of years.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Yeah, I've done about 200 myself. Back in '88, I started flipping houses and partnered with a guy. But I back then wholesaling wasn't even a thing, so I just slowly got diverted out of it. But I always came back because I love real estate.
Well, welcome back home. Let's go do it.
Cool. Yeah, man. All right. You have a
Looking
good
forward
night.
to it. Looking forward to it, Joe.
Hey, Pete, looks like we're all
Hey,
questioned out now. Appreciate your time
okay.
here tonight.
All right. Well, let me finish off by saying this, ladies and gentlemen. Number one, thank you for being here. I know every one of you could have been somewhere else today, but you chose to be here. The reason I want to thank you for that is because I truly love being around people that are trying to level up in life. It's one of the reasons I go to the gym every day. I just love watching to the left and to the right and in front of me people that are leveling up. I put myself in those environments. So thank you for being here because I truly enjoyed the last hour, hour and a half of being here together. I will tell you if this will never become important. Nobody gets in real estate because of real estate. But if there's things outside this industry that are important to you, making more money, having a bigger life, something about your kids, something about your wife, something about your husband, something about whatever it is in life that you're not achieving now, then this is a legitimate opportunity to get there. I'm going to leave you with these final words that I say to every single partner that starts with me, and I've been saying it to every single partner that starts with me for years now. And some of you who I'm sure will end up partnering with after tonight, you're going to hear these words, and that is this. Welcome to the next chapter, to the rest of your life. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here. I truly enjoyed it. I look forward to working with you, some of you guys. I look forward to helping you guys achieve some incredible stuff that you've never been able to achieve before. Thank you for being here. Good night, and God bless every single one of you. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Pete. Again, for those folks who have yet to schedule a call, please do so, despite whether or not you're speaking to one of our advisors already. That we know that you were here. I know, Roger. I know last minute you kind of had a couple of different questions. Um, Feel free to ask now. If not, I'll be sure to direct them to your advisor.
So I live I live near a college town in Oregon, by Corvallis, and there is a lot of homes and small apartment complexes that are in the transition to be fixed up and repaired and everything.
Sure.
What are your guys' top end or low end on purchasing those, and do we need to find contractors? How does all that work together?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Peter did cover that as far as what we're going to focus on as you get started here with us, which is residential rehabs, 1 to 4 units. And as we kind of get to know each other, make some money, then of course Peter and his business partner Julie are definitely open to other streams of income when it comes to real estate. But at first, we want to give you some base hits, right? We want you to make some money, kind of following our proven formula of residential rehabs, 1 to 4 units. Anything outside of that, Peter's definitely open to doing so, if it makes sense. If it makes sense.
Okay.
So hopefully that answers your question. As far as
Yeah.
contractors, we do have a community of contractors that we easily deploy. So whether or not you have experience, we've got you covered. Because as you may or may not know, that's gonna kill the deal is the rehab, right? So knowing
Correct.
that, we've taken it upon ourselves to mitigate risk by handling that for our partners. But also, as Peter mentioned, if you do have some background there, or you do have some vendors that you know, like, and trust, we're definitely open to vetting them out and seeing if it makes sense to use them. But we're definitely open. Bottom line
Okay.
is, if you're looking to do this long term, if you're looking to do volume, it only makes sense to build your own power team, i.e., local real estate agent, i.e., contractors, and the like. So yeah, absolutely.
Which
So
in the business that I'm in right now and where I've been in my past, I've dealt with a lot of different individuals with a lot of different career paths. So real estate agents, brokers, and
yeah,
contractors of all sorts and size. So that's pretty good.
yeah,
Also, I had
absolutely.
that question about the probate. So as of right now, we have a family member that passed away that we're dealing with probate. We have to be divided up between a handful of people, but how would that work if I was one of those recipients trying to get through that probate period, trying to
Yeah.
help out, maybe get a little bit more out?
At that point, bring us the deal after you're done through the probate process,
How
right?
does so that's my question with the probate process going through, like when they go to sell the home is when all the probate and everything takes over, correct?
Hmm.
So
Yeah,
that's
and
my
I'm sorry, you
question.
live in
Like, do I
Oregon, you
bring it
said?
to you prior or what?
No, no, it'd be after. It'd be after the fact. It'd be after the fact. Yeah.
Okay.
Or, once it's to the point where, and again, not to get too technical, once it gets to the point where, the judge wants to sell it off and then we can be a potential buyer. Because here's what we care about, Roger, is due diligence. So no matter how you source your deal, we want to make sure that we as a company have an opportunity to look at the deal up and down, sideways, left and right, to make sure that we know what we're getting into, which is so that we're not blindly investing into properties. But we'll definitely talk more about that. I am going to hop off here to give these folks an opportunity to click the link. Who are you speaking with, Roger? Just so I remember.
Leo,
Okay,
I
cool,
think
cool.
Richards.
Okay, got it. Got it. You're in good hands with her. She'll take good care of you. She'll be sure to answer any additional questions, but also get you on the phone with Peter if necessary. So thanks for being here, Roger.
All right.
Everyone
Thank
else,
you.
please click the link. Looking forward to getting to know you all, answering your questions, but also helping you get your unfair share here in 2026. If you're watching the news, if you're kind of looking around, now is the time to get into real estate and to go all out. But more importantly, to have someone like us, to have someone like Peter back you financially. Having said that, on behalf of Partner Driven, have a great night. Thanks for being here. Bye for now.